Seasons come and seasons go. Rich get richer, poor stay poor. They try to take away the middle ground, always trying to keep it down. Mother Earth said, I'll take care of this. Father Time said, I'll be behind you, sis. Together they're gonna change the way. While we're living from day to day, well, all I want you to do for me, all I want you to do for yourselves, take a look around, my friends. Open up your beautiful mind as we walk a thin line. Walk a thin line. Yeah, walk a thin line. Come on, walk a thin line. Well, we're going day by day. I know, try to find a way. Well, I know you can. Oh, Lord, y'all got to join in. You got to try, try, try. We do. Try, try, try. Me and you. Now, come on now. All I want you to do for me, and all I want you to do for yourselves, take a look around, my friends. Open up your beautiful minds as we walk a thin line. Walk a thin line. Yeah, walk a thin line. Walk a thin line. Boom, boom, boo, doo, 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 doo. Boom, bam, ba, doo, da, ba, da, da. Boom, bam, ba, doo, bam, ba, doo, 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 doo. Boom, bam, ba, doo, da, yeah, yeah. Seasons come and seasons go. Rich get richer, poor stay poor. They try to take away the middle ground, always trying to keep it down. Mother Earth said, I'll take care of this. Father Time said, I'm behind you, sis. Together they're gonna change the way. Well, we're living from day to day. All I want you to do for me, and all I want you to do for yourselves, take a look around, my friends. Open up your beautiful minds as we walk a thin line. Walk a thin line. Yeah, walk a thin line. Walk a thin line. We gotta walk, walk, walk a thin line. Walk, walk, walk a thin line. Boom, bam, ba da ba ba doo 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 doo. Boom, bam, ba doo doo da ba da da. Boom, bam, ba da ba ba doo 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 doo. Bam, bam, ba doo 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 da. Boom, bam, ba da ba ba doo doo doo. Boom, bam, ba doo da ba doo da. Boom, bam, ba da ba ba doo doo doo. Boom, bam, ba doo da ba doo da.
All right. Welcome, interweb fans, to the Duncan Showroom for our fourth installment of Tales and Travels with Eugene Smith. My name is Bill Levity. I'm standing in for Longevity John, who's out dreaming up even newer and better dreams. And we've got Dr. Ted Cadillac on the board and one audience member, famously. So we've got Eugene Smith here to carry on his stories from his lifetime. And we sure thank you for your comments and tuning in, and also donating if you wish with the tip tab at the bottom of your screen. Eugene, how you doing today?
Just paramount.
Paramount. Ooh. That is a good state to be in, my friend, especially in these
You better
strange days.
believe it. What'd you say?
See, that's a good state to be in, especially in
yeah.
these challenging times.
It's have to keep a stiff upper lip, as they say.
What are you, English?
But anyways, yeah, that's we're still out there. We're still separating and carrying on, and it's doing good.
Hard to make love in this day and age, I guess, is it? You figure?
Now you're getting personal, Billy.
Okay, maybe we should stay PG.
This is 14 plus parental guidance
That's right.
due to
That's right.
nudity, violence, and coarse language.
Coarse language, that's right. Good that we get that disclaimer in there.
So I thought maybe, Billy, I'd play a song here and to start things off.
That's a grand idea.
This is Up on ba doo doo dum bum ba doo doo dum bum ba doo 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 ba dum ha ho bum ba doo doo dum bum ba doo doo dum bum ba doo 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 ba dum ha ha ha. Now Nimble Lake Joe and Sweet Smith Blue, she like to go out and dance. Said we'll go downtown to Big Girl's place. That's where we'll get our chance. Well, the band will be grooving and the people will be moving to the sound of the funky beat. That's when Joe and Flo lost control, started moving their feet on now, hips to the left and hips to the right, bumping, grinding all through the night. Boogie boogie, ha ha, a boogie boogie, ha ha. Now lift her up high, set her down the light, kiss on the cheek. Now that's all right. Boogie boogie, ha ha, a boogie boogie, ha ha. Now Joe and Flo and the rest of the gang, they danced till the sun came up. Now do the steps to the rooster strut. Now they just couldn't get enough. From across the room, Big Earl shouted out, "Now one more funky treat." Well, the crowd all yelled, "Thank you, Earl." Started moving their feet on now, hips to the left and hips to the right, bumping, grinding all through the night. Boogie boogie, ha ha, a boogie boogie, ha ha. Now lift her up high, set her down the light, kiss on the cheek. Now that's all right. Boogie boogie, ha ha, a boogie boogie, ha ha. Now boogie 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 boogie. All right. Hey, boog, 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 boogie. All right. Now, walking home, Flo said to Joe, well, she sure had fun tonight. Now, she reached down and gave him a great big hug, now much to Joe's delight. Now, Joe said to Flo, let's go back down to Earl's tomorrow night and dance, where the band will be grooving and the people will be moving to the sound of the funky beat. That's when Joe and Flo lost control, started dancing in the street. Oh, now hips to the left and hips to the right, bump and grinding all through the night. Boogie boogie, ha ha, a boogie boogie, ha ha ha. Now lift her up high, set her down the light, kiss on the cheek. Now that's all right. Boogie boogie, ha ha, a boogie boogie, ha ha, boog 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 boogie boogie. All right. Bum 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 ba da ba 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 do da ba 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 boogie boogie. All right. Boogie boogie. No 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 boogie 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 boogie.
All right, Gene. Nice. I'm going to
Thank you.
give you a couple of your early messages here. Now,
Okay.
Longevity John, talented man that he is, manages to look into the camera somehow and read the screen. I think it's the half-face beard thing. He can actually do two different things with his face at once. I'm a stage actor. I'm not that versatile, you know. Anyway, Fresh Air Pete, Waiting, he says. If you haven't played it recently, could I just hear Just a Piece of Wood? I'm afraid, Pete, that you won't hear that today. That's a song for the tenor, what's it called, Gene? Tenor guitar.
Yes.
And it's also my favorite song, and Eugene did decide to bookend this afternoon of stories with a song on each end for the music lovers, but you'll have to wait.
Next Tuesday.
You might hear Piece of Wood next Tuesday. So then we've got Andy Diamond. Hi, Eugene. Carol Gordon steered me this way. We head to Southside Johnny's in the Lakeshore. We still hear Donnie Meeker and Danny B., who you might know from way back.
I do.
There you go. And Teresa Wilkes back again. Hi, Eugene. Looking forward to today's stories. So there you go.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, today I'm gonna go to the good book, and this is The Best Is Yet to Come. And from this book, I just like to say hi to Wayne and Maureen on Thetis Island, and Reagan and Louise up in Courtney, and all the ladies on Prince Edward Island.
All the ladies on Prince Edward
Island.
Yeah. Some of the stories we cannot tell, unfortunately.
Well, Michael Terrio's family, let's put it that way.
Oh, there you go.
And all the wonderful people up in Carbonear and Newfoundland. And Ray and Pat in Toronto, Eddie and Jim, and Charlie Moore and his family in London, Ontario, and Dave and Tandra Burke, and Andy and Nancy up in Courtney. And there we go. Just wanted to say hi to everybody out there. They're tuning in for the first time, some of them. So I was thinking about stories, what I was going to tell tonight. I'm going to go back to, this is in the 80s. And this is when I was with the warm-up band, Eugene Smith and the warm-up band. And it's so funny that I was thinking of telling these two stories, but I didn't know if I should or would or could, or I was thinking of something else. But this is the Trudeau era. Anyways, in the 80s, we used to play, the warm-up band used to play up at Mount Cascade. And also, we played in Ottawa quite a bit. So my first story took place in Ottawa, and a fellow by the name of Terry Gillespie was in a band called Heaven's Radio, I believe it was. And he was getting married, and his new wife was apparently, I think I was told that her grandfather or great-grandfather had been the founder of Hull, Quebec. So Terry invited me to this wedding, and it was one of the old buildings in Ottawa on Parliament Hill somewhere, and that's where the reception was. And so he seated me with a bunch of people at this place, and I was supposed to get up and sing a song for everybody. And what I didn't know was that there was a bunch of the people that were going to be there and at the head table, like out there, were bigots. And Terry didn't tell me that he wanted to have me come and sing a song just to rub it in their faces or something, but he didn't tell me that. But anyways, I went to this reception and thinking I was just going to get up and sing a song for everybody, but and he sat me down at a table with Margaret Trudeau and her kids. No, the kids weren't there. The boys were not there. The three boys were not there. It was all adults. But anyways, somewhere halfway through the dinner, I decided to go outside and get some fresh air. And so I went outside, and I'm standing around out there, and I hear these voices. I hear number 1, 3, number 1, 2. And I look around, and there's these little boys, three boys, and they're hiding behind a car. And every time a woman would pass by, they would send out this number. And it turned out it was Justin Trudeau and his two brothers, and they were hiding behind the car going, number 1. So I went over to them, and I said, hey, guys, what's going on? And they looked at me. I said, what's with the numbers? What are you talking about? What's going on? So Justin looked at his two brothers. Said, should we tell them? And they looked at me, and I said, hey, you can tell me. And so Justin says, number 1 means legs. Number 2 means ass. And number 3 means breasts. And I said, oh, okay. So I went back in and I sat down beside Margaret Trudeau. And she said, did you see my boys? I said, yeah, they're just outside having fun. I said, they're just outside growing up. I said, they're okay. Anyways, that's my first story, Billy, with the Trudeaus.
Not knowing that years later it would topple the country. Give the Conservatives more ammunition that they didn't really even need. There you go.
Not knowing he was going to become the Prime Minister of Canada. Yes.
Well, he's a feminist now, so he's okay.
And apparently
And a leg man.
a leg man. That's the number 1.
And running the country very well. Yes, I must say our Prime Minister is doing a fantastic job. And so, and all the people in Canada should give themselves a hurrah because we're doing really well also, I think, out there in this country. So what else is going on, Billy? Do you have anybody else tuning in?
Hold on here. I'll make it look nonchalant. Berkey, BC. We made it. Nice. You know who that is?
Oh, yeah, I do, yes.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
So that's it for comments so far. I'm glad you say you didn't say everybody in Canada should give themselves a hand, because I thought, he's backtracking to our lovemaking analogy. We need you as citizens to take care of yourselves. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So I guess I should get into my next story with the Trudeaus, this Trudeau night.
Oh, the butterfly whisperer, Sunshine and Slater, sending lots of love.
Thank you. So a couple of years after that, the band we used to play Mont Cascade, I was saying before, in the summertime. Well, mostly in the winter, but every once in a while we'd get to play in the summertime. So this one summer we're playing up there and we're playing away, and the owner of the chalet came up and asked me, he says, Eugene, he says, do you have any marijuana with you? And I said, what? He says, Margaret Trudeau's here with her boyfriend. This was with her new boyfriend. And they want to get high, And I said, yeah, I do. I had just bought an ounce. And I had this ounce, but it was in a bag, and it was So anyways, I said, yeah, I do. So anyways, they said, okay, well, come on, I want to introduce you to them. So he introduces me to Margaret, but she doesn't remember me from maybe she did remember me, I don't know. But anyways, we go to the Mercedes-Benz the guy drove, and him and I get in the front, and she gets in the back, and she's going, so Eugene, she says, do you mind if I roll? Can I roll? I want to roll some joints. And I said, you want to roll? She said, oh, I just love to roll. When the Rolling Stones are in town, they just let me roll as much as I want to roll joints. They let me roll joints. I just love rolling joints. So I said, sure. So I passed back the papers and the bag of weed, and him and I are talking away, and she rolls some joints. We're smoking away, and so now it's, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes later. I'm not sure of the time really. And so I reached, she goes, so here, Eugene, here's your stuff, your guys. And she had rolled up my whole ounce of grass. And I had all these joints. And I'm going, oh, thanks, Margaret. What am I going to do with these? How am I going to conceal these? Anyways, that's one of the stories that happened to me with the Trudeaus. Well, 2 stories with the Trudeau family. So there you go, Billy.
Very nice.
There you go, people.
Now, chronologically, Gene, I think we had come back from the West Coast, your first trip to the West Coast, and so I was wondering how it was to re-enter your music career in Toronto, and did you put a band together right away, or did you mostly
Oh, you
remain
mean
as a solo performer
after living here for 5 years
in
in
Port Moody?
Port Moody, and then going back?
Yeah.
That's when I went back. That's when the warm up band became a band. That's when I got back. It was difficult at first, but I just kept plugging away and making phone calls and stuff and getting work here and there. But it was I was living up in Collingwood at the Mountain View Hotel. And they used to have to carry me downstairs. The band would put me on a stool and put the guitar in my hands and then say, "Okay, play, Eugene." And I'd start playing. Because I was writing songs. I was like whacked. I was in another space altogether. I wondered sometimes if I'd ever go back to that space, because I was in another world, you might say, writing songs and everything. And then the band, we got together. The keyboard player, actually, it was the keyboard player came in first, or the guitar player. I think it was John. John Judge might have come in first, and then Teddy came, and then the drums came, and then we had a bass player called Hector. He was in the band at the beginning, and then later on it became Carl Rabinowitz replaced him as bass player in the band. And I called it the warm-up band because I thought, well, usually most big acts have a warm-up act, so hey, what better than to hire the warm-up band to warm up? Got quite a few gigs because of that. But it was hard at first, but the warm-up band did really well as a band. And like I say, we had our first big hit in Leamington, Ontario, when it went number 12 on the hit parade. Amy, Amy, Amy. Yeah, so anyways, we're getting closer and closer to maybe another story, but what year do you want me to go to? I'm just kind of flip-flopping and hopping around here all over.
Right, we were just trying to reel the big fish in there. So that was late 70s when you returned?
Late 70s, yeah.
And now you did produce some vinyl with the warm-up band, I think, did you not?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did vinyl. It was really interesting, man. I think how the story goes is that we went into a bank and they were able to, the guys in the band who were negotiating with the bank people, it was called creative banking back then. So we got a loan from the bank with creative banking, and they would own the master tape until it was paid for, and then we would own it. But that's how we got to go into the studio and do our first do our album.
That's wacky. Banks were in the music business.
Yeah.
Oh man, no wonder some of the managers became so crooked and greedy.
Creative banking. That was
creative banking.
But and it was with that band that we opened up for the Beach Boys. We opened up for Peter Tosh. We opened up for Kool and the Gang. And we opened up for, there was somebody else. There was somebody, after a few years, that band kind of dispersed, but I kept the name and different people were still in the band. And so the Eugene Smith and the warm-up band, like we backed up Sam and Dave.
Ah, that was the story, yes.
Yeah, Sam and Dave, it's really funny. They, at that particular time, I don't know what the feud was all about, but they didn't like each other, and they weren't talking to each other. So they flew into Toronto in different planes, stayed at different hotels, ate at different restaurants, whatever. And then in the dressing room, which was a long dressing room at this club that we were playing at. One sat at one end and one sat at the other, and they didn't talk. They didn't say hello to each other. But when their name was announced and they went out on stage, they stood beside each other and they sang, and they were wonderful. Like, they were just wonderful. I was going, oh my goodness, like, you would never know that these two guys never talked to each other, for whatever the reasons were. But when they got on stage and started singing, it was fantastic. It was just wonderful. So we opened up we backed them up, and so there's other people too. I just can't think of it at this moment, but it was a good band to work with, the warm-up band.
Nice. Now, Gene, for a lot of people who aren't professional musicians, they may not realize that paydays have actually gotten worse over the years. That maybe in the era of the 70s or early 80s that you were maybe getting paid more than you can get paid today, which is one of the saddest things, I think. Were those good gigs in that era?
Well, the warm-up band, we did it where we did shares. Like, we each fellow in the band, after the gig, we split up the money 5 ways. And then we created a sixth person in the band, so we were putting money in the bank under this system. And we went from where we were making next to nothing to where, as a band, just playing in clubs and a few festivals and that, and whatever, we're grossing close to or over $100,000 a year.
Wow.
Yes, and other bands were coming around because we had our own sound system, we had our own lights, and our own vehicle for travel, and we did mostly all our own booking. So there wasn't any agent's fee for quite a long time, and then that changed. But so the band did very, very well under the leadership of Carl Rabinowitz and Teddy Grimes, and who handled the business part of the group.
Nice. So you're taking care of it mostly in-house, which I think you notice a lot of the indie performers today do that, and that's a way to be successful without giving all your money away to publishing house or agents or.
Yeah. But go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say Brian Blaine says great stories. Thanks.
I'm glad you're enjoying them. Yeah, it was fun. We traveled all over Ontario, and then back and forth from Toronto to Newfoundland and Halifax, and it was a very exciting band. The music was mellow. It wasn't in your face, but it was enjoyable music, and you could dance to it also.
That was interesting to me how your Newfoundland connection opened up. Can you just relate that quickly? Why that was such a good market for you guys?
Well, at that particular time there were 2 club owners, and one in Halifax and one in St. John's, and they were partners. So they would hire Toronto bands to go and play 2 weeks in Halifax, and then 2 weeks in Newfoundland. Then they would fly us back, and quite a number of Toronto bands were doing that for about 8 or 9 years, something like that.
And you didn't mind airplanes in those days?
Pardon?
You didn't mind airplanes in those days?
I didn't mind them?
Well, you flew on them more than you do today.
Well, yeah. Well, it's just there's the only way I could get there, That's everybody else was going that way, so I had to follow suit. But no, I've never really enjoyed flying all that much. But once you're in the air, I mean, the most scariest time I ever had in an airplane was flying from Toronto down to Texas, and no, I'm sorry, not Texas, Baton Rouge. And we're in this plane with the propellers, and we're in this plane, and we were going through this storm, this and it was thunder and lightning and the wind. And I looked out the window. I was sitting beside where where the wings are, and I looked out, and the wings were flapping like this. They were going up and down like this, right? And I went, "Oh my God, we're gonna die!" But then I looked over, and there was a couple of guys, these businessmen, and they were sitting there just reading the paper nonchalantly, like nothing was going on. You know what I mean? I went, "Oh yeah, I'm sure you're being really brave." But that was the only time I was ever experienced a plane ride where I didn't enjoy it. But it's you do. I think I'd rather beam me up or something would be a lot better.
That's right. The famous question, would you rather be able to read someone's mind or teleport?
Teleport. As
Teleport.
long as there's no flies in there. That's
right.
Leave the flies out.
Yeah, you could get stuck in there. Well, thank you. That's about our, we reached our half hour, which has been kind of our guidepost. Did you want to share another tune with us?
Well, one more. Sorry about, what was it, Piece of Wood.
Oh, well, a classic.
I'm going to share this song with you again. I always like doing it. It's got a nice little message to it, and it's fun to do. Yeah. Well, the world today we know in a weaver's spin. Where, why, how did it all begin? Many more people sleeping out in the park, while a pretty girl dances barefoot under the stars. One thing you gotta remember, never forget. Mother Earth, she's the host, and we're the guest, alright. We're just the guest. When we look to the city sky, you see a yellow haze. Bet you $1 it's man-made. We've wrapped the world all up with cellophane. The ground beneath our feet, it cries in pain. One thing you've got to remember, never forget. Oh, no, no, no. Mother Earth, she's the host, and we're the guest, all right. We're just the guest. We're just a guest. Well, we've got to right the wrong mess we've made, if we're to rise to greet a brand new day. People of the world, we need a master plan, so we can save our water, air, and land. One thing you've got to remember, never forget. Mother Earth, she's the host. Mother Earth, she's the host. Mother Earth, she's the host. World today we know in a weaver's spin. Where, why, how did it all begin? Many more people sleeping out in the park, while a pretty girl dances barefoot under the stars. One thing you gotta remember, I say never forget. Mother Earth, she's the host, and we're the guest, all right. We're just the guest. Come on. We're just the guest. We're just the guest. Yeah. We're just the guest. Yeah. Thank you, Mother, for what you're giving to us. Thank you, Mother, yeah, for what you're giving to us. Oh, now we got to treat you right. Treat you right. Thank you, Mother. for what you giving to us. Thank you, Mother, for what you giving to us. Thank you, Mother, for what you giving to us.
All right, the incomparable Eugene Smith. That is such a beautiful song, Eugene, and
Thank you.
so timely. I mean, you know, when we're slowing down and really thinking, yeah, maybe we should pay attention to Mother Earth and be more respectful of fellow
Got
humans.
that right. Got
Now,
that right.
this song, if you don't mind me mentioning, Gene has had a couple of brushes with fame, and there's no reason why it shouldn't be an international hit. Tom Shandell, a very well-known documentarian, heard you performing at a party once, and was just what he said. He said, "Why aren't you famous?" Probably because you're so shy. I think
Yeah, I'm
that's probably
shy.
it. Yeah, and he did a lovely video,
Oh,
which
yeah.
people can look up online. And Eugene, being the Earth guy that he is, of course, is in his pajamas, which have playing cards on them. But it's a beautiful little video of "Thank You, Mother." And also, Gene, if you would quickly tell the story of when you met Elizabeth May in Nanaimo, wasn't it? And almost got scooped up for the Green Party
Yes.
theme song. They should have gone for it.
Yes, they when I was the host there, and so some of her people came and asked me if I would do that song because Elizabeth was in the audience, and I said sure. So I took my chair and I faced the table where they were all sitting, and I did this song for them, and they stood up and gave me a standing ovation when I finished doing the song, and then I told her where else I was playing, and if she wanted to use that song for the party. Somebody mentioned you being their theme song or something at one point, but anyways, yeah, so that's how I met Elizabeth May.
See, they didn't pick up on it, and they went down in the polls. They really should have got on that. Thank you. And we should give a shout-out to Jackie and the Blues Jam at the
Oh,
Queens.
yeah, for sure.
Who've been a great supporter of Gene. And, it's just a wonderful non-dry venue where people dance a lot. And just like Longevity John, who's a great supporter of Eugene's. And they have a neat scene up there, don't they?
Oh,
Sunday afternoons.
It's excellent when
Yeah.
it was going, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, and we look
Thank
forward
you.
to seeing you back next week. Now, I did mention that I get to share the bill with Eugene today because at 7:30 p.m. we're having our For the Love of Words, which is a Zoom meeting of writers reading, bumped up to the YouTube channel by the immaculate Dr. Ted Cadillac. Thanks to Eugene Smith and Longevity John, the Duncan Showroom, and our audience, Marcia, Dr. Ted, Trevor, Georgia, and all you people who keep the, there goes the hat. And no, that's on a delay, sorry. All the people who donate to keep the showroom open, and don't be shy to use the tip jar. Thanks very much. My name is Bill Levity. Eugene Smith. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
Bye now.
Lay, lady, lay. Lay across my big brass bed. Lay, lady, lay. Lay across my big brass bed. Whatever colors you have are in your mind, I'll show them to you. While you see them shine. Stay, lady, stay. Stay with your man a while. Until the break of day. Let me see you make him smile. Well, his clothes are dirty, but his hands are clean. You're the best thing now he's ever seen. Stay, lady, stay. Stay while the night is still ahead. Lady, lay. Oh, yeah. Lay across my big breast bed.